A Hunter in Teyvat, Chapter 79, Fan Fiction, by Azazyel. The Rite of Descension was upon us. After a lovely night with my girls, I awoke to the even lovelier smell of bacon cooking, but I froze as I realized both sides of my body were still pinned down by the bodies of Eula and Lumine. Girls. I think someone broke into our house to cook bacon, I said dryly, and Eula rolled her head up to me and scoffed. More like you slept too deeply and didn't hear us get up to let in some friends from Mondstadt. Eula said crossly, and I wanted to complain, but as Lumine also looked up at me from my chest with a judging smile as she raised an eyebrow waiting for my retort, I just accepted my verbal loss after fighting Eula through the night as she took her supposed vengeance upon my form at the stress I caused her for the thought of me pissing off the Electro-Archon. Who is here? I grumbled as I sat up and stretched, and Eula truly smiled as she let me up. Noelle and Amber have come to visit for the Rite of Descension and to tell me that I wasn't banished from Mondstadt and that they want us to at least visit for the Spring Winds Festival in a couple of months, Eula said with a soft smile as she obviously took great joy in how she wasn't without friends from her homeland. Oh, Noelle and Amber are here, I said, blinking as I recalled the sweet-hearted maid, Noelle, who let me and Lumine stay with her at her apartment back in Mondstadt. And Amber, of course, was our hang gliding instructor and a good friend, even if we didn't spend as much time together. Yes, so get cleaned up, we are all going to watch the Rite of Descension today, Lumine said as she rolled out of the bed, and I saw that she was fully dressed in her normal outfit while Eula was in a more relaxed outfit than her adventuring outfit. I then left the girls to go into the bathroom to get cleaned up, and as I came out into the living room I was greeted with a warm smile from Noelle, the silver-haired armored maid, who handed me a loaded-up plate of breakfast food that matched Lumine's cooking in quality but was even more generous in its larger portions, much to Paymon's delight. Dialek is also here in Eula as he had business delivering several caskets of wine for the festivities. Plus, him posting the job to escort his barge here to Eula was how we were able to get out of Mondstadt to see you guys. Amber explained excitedly, and I nodded as I mentally noted to thank Dialek for being a good dude and helping Eula see her friends. So, how is Mondstadt anyway? I asked Amber while I was eating some scrambled eggs mixed with sausage, ham, and bacon. Amber, at my question, shrugged with a wry smile as before she spoke, looking to Noelle. It's fine on the grand scale, but there's been some issues. Like a lot of people are torn on how to think about Eula, and some people are mad at the Knights of Favonius for how you guys got pushed away when Mondstadt went on lockdown. Amber explained helplessly, and Noelle nodded in agreement. Yes, it's most unfortunate, but I am glad you guys got your feet under you and have your own house. Though I admit that I do miss you helping me cook new recipes, Jake. Noelle said, reminding me of that time Noelle and I had some close time together when we were cooking some lasagna. I smiled with some nostalgia and wondered if I missed an opportunity to get with Noelle in those days, as we were rather close and Noelle didn't shy away from a bit of physical affection when we were cooking together over the same stove. But either way, as Lumine spoke to Noelle, I was still feeling tense about this whole Rite of Descension coming, as I could already see it going sideways, like how we were supposed to deliver the harp with Venti, and he still got attacked. So is there anything you girls want to do before the actual descension happens? I asked, with all four of the girls sharing a look before speaking in unison. Shopping, they said in chorus, and my wallet and heart died a little on the inside at the thought. Sure, my brain was on autopilot as I followed the girls a bit through the streets of Eula buying some knickknacks, but I did have a lot of fun trying out some specialties from other nations, like some barbecued and fire-roasted food from the lands of Natlan and likewise the more exotic-tasting dishes from the jungles and desert of Sumeru. Though other than a weird electro-crystal-powered stove I didn't get anything else of note. Ooh, authentic Eula outfits, let's try these out. Amber cheered as she dragged Lumine and Eula into a clothes shop with Noelle following naturally, and my face twitched as I saw how the kipeos in the front of the store were displaying pieces of a more cultured variety. Even as I sat on a bench, I could only smile wryly as I heard Amber herself muttering about how tight-fitting and short the skirt was to the dress. And for her, who had to fight a battle every morning to fit into those short shorts she wore, that was saying something. The first one to come out of the changing rooms was Noelle, and she smiled as she saw my eyes widen. She twirled a bit as she showed off her new unarmored cheapao outfit that put more emphasis on her breasts with a cutout showing some of her cleavage, but it was weird. The outfit was the standard black and white maid colors, and with the way she held herself, all I could see of her was how she still looked like a maid. A maid in a sexy Chinese dress, but she was still a maid nonetheless. You can take the heroic knight maid of Mondstadt out of her outfit, but you still have the same bearing. You look good, Niall. I said, complimenting her more naturally, rather than gushing about how hot she was or something, and that was the right choice, as she grinned while still blushing a bit at how revealing the outfit was compared to her normal outfit. Though Amber's was also a tight fit and she wore it well, she was clearly uncomfortable in how the skirt clung to her backside, so to say nothing of how it limited her movement. Lumine and Eula's outfits were clearly fetishistic, as I clearly heard Lumine giggling as she made Eula dress up in a two-piece outfit that was a more lewd and revealing dancer's outfit than Nilo over in Sumeru would typically wear. Wow, Eula. You look fantastic. Do you think I could see you dance in that back home? I asked with a wide smile as Eula blushed and Lumine giggling came out of her own dressing room in a maid outfit that came from Fontaine, that made Noelle choke in shock at how lewd it was with it being basically a bikini top, a short skirt and the little maid headdress on top of her head. Thankfully, Paimon was across the street watching from the veranda as people brought in crates and stuff from the fleet of ships that were visiting Liyue, so I had this lovely moment without her screaming about how Lumine was a pervert. So Jake, seeing as you got to see us in these, you should, you know. And we can wear them later at home. Lumine said, bouncing her eyebrow, and I rolled my eyes as I paid for the clothes with how I had been making the lion's share of our money with the massive payment I got for the trip to Inazuma, to say nothing of how I would go do commissions to get my own free time sometimes. And if Lumine wanted me to buy her a fetish-made outfit to wear at home, I was only to say, of course, would you like another? It's not like I was hurting for money anyway. So after the girls put away their new outfits and their space bags, I heard a loud bell ringing like a gong, and the surrounding people all stopped and in unison started walking, or in some cases running, towards the highest level of Liyue as the Rite of Descension was officially starting. Come on, guys, we gotta go or we won't get any good seats. Paimon cried OUT, and I quickly summoned an Anemo to summon so we could just fly over the crowd of people rushing toward the large center where the ritual would take place. Because, unlike in the game, seeing an actual god descend down to the world and give advice was a huge deal, and tens of thousands of people came from across the world to see the Geo Archon, unlike in the gamer where there weren't even like 100 people there.